Welcome to UK Learnings. After watch this video, please subscribe to our channel to give us your support. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get upcoming videos. Good luck for your exam.
What should you do before you make a U-turn in the road? Give an arm signal as well as using your indicators. Signal so that other drivers can slow down for you. Check all around for any possible hazards. Select to higher gear than normal. The correct answer is check all around for any possible hazards. If you want to make a U-turn, slow down or stop in a legal place. Make sure that the road is wide enough to carry out the maneuver safely. Check all around to ensure that the road is clear in both directions and that you're not going to endanger anyone as you turn. What's a cover note? A driving license, a temporary insurance certificate, a registration document, UNMO certificate. The correct answer is a temporary insurance certificate. Sometimes an insurance company will issue a temporary insurance certificate called a cover note. It gives you the same insurance cover as your certificate, but lasts for a limited period, usually 1 month. Which vehicles aren't allowed to use the right-hand lane of a 3-lane motorway? Motorcycles, vehicles under 3.5 tons, vehicles towing a trailer, people carriers with 7 seats. The correct answer is vehicles towing a trailer. Vehicles towing trailers are subject to a speed limit of 60 miles per hour on motorways and dual carriageways. In addition, any vehicle towing a trailer may not use the right-hand lane of a motorway that has 3 or more lanes. You're driving past a line of parked cars. What should you do if a ball suddenly bounces out into the road ahead? Continue driving at the same speed and sound your horn. Continue driving at the same speed and flash your headlights. Slow down and be prepared to stop. Stop and move the ball onto the pavement. The correct answer is slow down and be prepared to stop. If a ball bounces out from the pavement, slow down and be ready to stop. Don't encourage anyone to step into the road to retrieve it, as other road users might not have seen the situation and may be unable to stop if someone steps into the road. What's the purpose of the yellow lines painted across the road? To help you choose the correct lane, to help you keep the correct separation distance, to warn you to slow down, to tell you the distance to the roundabout. The correct answer is to warn you to slow down. These lines are a device often found on the approach to a roundabout or a dangerous junction. They become closer together as you approach the hazard, warning you to slow down. When may you use your vehicle's horn while you're driving in a built-up area? Between 7 a.m. and 11:30 p.m., between midnight and 6 a.m., between 11:30 p.m. and 6 a.m., between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. The answer is between 7 a.m. and 11:30 p.m. You mustn't sound your vehicle's horn in a built-up area while stationary on the road, or between the hours of 11:30 p.m. and 7 a.m. The exception is if another road user poses a danger. What type of injury can be prevented by a correctly adjusted head restraint? Knee injury, wrist injury, facial injury, whiplash injury. The correct answer is whiplash injury. A properly adjusted head restraint can help to prevent whiplash injury to the neck and spine. You're most likely to suffer this type of injury if you're hit from behind by another vehicle. How does a Puffin crossing operate? A sensor holds the lights on amber for traffic while pedestrians are still crossing. A sensor holds the lights on red for traffic while pedestrians are still crossing. A sensor holds the lights on flashing amber for traffic while pedestrians are still crossing. A sensor holds the lights on green for traffic while pedestrians are still crossing. The correct answer is a sensor holds the lights on red for traffic while pedestrians are still crossing. At Puffin crossings, an infrared sensor detects when pedestrians are crossing. This controls when the lights change. There's no flashing amber phase as there is with a Pelican crossing. What's meant by transfer of learning? When parents take on the responsibility for teaching their children to drive. When associations are made with previously learned skills and knowledge. When trainees learn from friends and colleagues. When pupils learn from their mistakes. The correct answer is when associations are made with previously learned skills and knowledge. A transfer of knowledge is when links are made between previous experience and the new skills to be learned. What can you do to help protect the environment? Use your car for very short journeys. Remove your roof rack when it's unloaded. Drive faster to reduce journey times. Avoid using cruise control. The correct answer is remove your roof rack when it's unloaded. A roof rack increases your car's wind resistance. This will cause an increase in fuel consumption, so you should remove it when it isn't being used. Which type of glasses shouldn't be worn when driving at night? Half moon, round, bifocal, tinted. The correct answer is tinted. If you're driving at night or in poor visibility, tinted lenses will make everything appear darker. This will make it more difficult for you to see in what are already difficult conditions. At the scene of an incident, a pedestrian's leg is bleeding heavily. It's not broken and there are no objects in the wound. How could you help stop the bleeding? Remove their shoes and socks. Keep both legs flat on the ground. Apply firm pressure to the wound. Roll the person into the recovery position. The correct answer is apply firm pressure to the wound. Check there are no objects in the wound and then apply a firm pressure with a pad of clean material, such as a bandage or a length of cloth. Raising the leg will lessen the flow of blood. Avoid tying anything tightly around the leg, as any restriction to blood circulation for more than a short period of time can result in long-term injury. You're driving in very heavy rain. How will your overall stopping distance be affected? It will be at least double the dry weather stopping distance. It will be half the dry weather stopping distance. It will be up to 10 times the dry weather stopping distance. It will have no effect on the overall stopping distance. The correct answer is it will be at least double the dry weather stopping distance. In heavy rain, the road will be wet and there may be pooling surface water. This will reduce the grip the tires have on the road and will at least double the distance it takes to stop. Take this increased stopping distance into account while driving. Double the separation distance you'd leave in dry conditions. How can you use your vehicle's engine to help control your speed? Change to a lower gear. Select reverse gear. Change to a higher gear. Select neutral. The correct answer is change to a lower gear. Selecting a low gear will help the engine's resistance, known as engine braking, to control your vehicle's speed. This is especially useful when traveling downhill. Until you're 70 years old, how often should you renew your photo card driving license? Every 5 years, every 10 years, every 15 years, every 20 years. The correct answer is every 10 years. Photo card licenses have to be renewed every 10 years until the age of 70. This is to make sure that the photograph is a good likeness of the license holder. You're driving along a 3-lane motorway. When may you overtake on the left? If you're within 1 mile of your exit. If the driver ahead is hogging the right-hand lane. If you're driving in a slow-moving traffic queue. If you're in stationary traffic but the hard shoulder is clear. The correct answer is if you're driving in a slow-moving traffic queue. If traffic is moving slowly in queues on a motorway, stay in your lane. If the queue on your right is moving more slowly than the queue you're in, you may pass on the left. You arrive at the scene of a motorcycle crash. The rider is injured. When would you remove the rider's helmet? When it's essential. Straight away. When the rider asks you to, before you move the rider. The correct answer is when it's essential. If a motorcyclist has been injured, it's important not to remove their helmet unless it's absolutely essential to keep them alive. You move off from the side of the road. Why should you look around? To check that there's nothing in the blind spot, because the mirrors may not be adjusted properly, to avoid failing their driving test. To check for road signs and speed limits. The correct answer is to check that there's nothing in the blind spot. At which type of crossing are cyclists and pedestrians allowed to cross together? Toucan, Puffin, Pelican, Zebra. The correct answer is Toucan. A Toucan crossing is designed to allow pedestrians and cyclists to cross at the same time. Look out for cyclists approaching the crossing at speed. What should you do if you have to leave valuables in your car? Put them in a carrier bag. Park near a school entrance. Lock them out of sight. Park near a bus stop. The correct answer is lock them out of sight. If you have to leave valuables in your car, always lock them out of sight. If a thief can't see anything of value to steal, they are less likely to break in. In some circumstances, you're allowed to park your car on the road at night without lights. It must be facing in the direction of traffic flow and at least 10 meters, 32 feet, from any junction. What other restriction applies? The speed limit for the road must be 30 miles per hour or less. The speed limit for the road must be 40 miles per hour or less. The road must not be a dual carriageway. The road must not be on a bus route. The correct answer is the speed limit for the road must be 30 miles per hour or less. To park at night without lights, you must comply with certain conditions. The road must be subject to a 30 miles per hour speed limit, or less. Parking too close to a junction or facing the flow of traffic could confuse and cause danger for other road users. What will a new driver have to do if they accrue 6 or more penalty points on their license within the first 2 years after passing their first driving test? Retake the theory test only. Retake both the theory and practical tests. Retake the practical test only. Reapply for a full license immediately. The correct answer is retake both the theory and practical tests. If the number of points on a new driver's license, including any points gained as a learner, reaches 6 or more within 2 years of passing their first practical driving test, their license will be revoked. To regain a full driving license, both the theory and practical tests will have to be retaken. Where would you find a crawler lane on a motorway? On an uphill gradient, before a service area, before a junction, across an exposed bridge. The correct answer is on an uphill gradient. Where a motorway has a steep uphill gradient, slow-moving, large vehicles might get in the way of other traffic. An extra lane on the left may be provided for these slow-moving vehicles. It allows faster-moving traffic to flow more easily. When would you use the right-hand lane of a 3-lane dual carriageway? Only when you're overtaking. When you're overtaking or turning right. When you're driving fast. Only when you're turning right. The correct answer is when you're overtaking or turning right. You should normally use the left-hand lane on any dual carriageway, unless you're overtaking or turning right. When overtaking on a dual carriageway, look for vehicles ahead that are turning right. They're likely to be slowing or stopped. You need to see them in good time so that you can take appropriate action. You're driving in freezing conditions. What should you do when you approach a sharp bend? Steer smoothly and gently. Gently apply your parking brake. Firmly use your foot brake. Coast into the bend. The correct answer is steer smoothly and gently. In icy conditions, it's very important that you take appropriate action in plenty of time. On slippery surfaces, harsh use of the accelerator, brakes or steering is likely to lead to skidding.
Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe UK Learning's YouTube channel. Share with your friends and family. Don't forget to click the bell icon to get more videos. Your support will encourage us to make more videos. We wish you all the best for your exam.